This program is brought to you by the City of Oceanside. The following program does not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, or policies of the City of Oceanside, its elected officials, KOCT, its board of directors, or staff. This program is underwritten in part by Waste Management of North County in Oceanside. We are dedicated to serving customers and community as a safe, comprehensive service provider, a good corporate citizen, and a responsible environmental steward. Think green. Think Waste Management.
Hello, I am Kelly O. Davis, and I am pleased to welcome you to this edition of Oceanside Spectrum on our rockin' KOCT soundstage. We have an exciting lineup for guests for you to enjoy. First up is Friends of Oceanside Parks and Rec on the show to talk about their free summer concert series. Next, we have OIFF, the Oceanside International Film Festival, on the show to talk about their annual festival coming this August. The Oceanside campus of the Humane Society will be our next guest to talk about how to care for your pet during the hot summer months. And Eileen Turk is back for On the Scene with Eileen, taking us tango dancing by the beach. And last but certainly not least, we have the Oceanside Police Department in our studio to talk about their Coffee with a Cop events and how you can join them. So prepare yourself for the July edition of Oceanside Spectrum right here on KOCT, the voice of North County. Hi and welcome. And for our first guests, we have Tom Frankum and Genevieve M. Wander of the Friends of Oceanside Parks and Rec. Hello, how are you all doing today?
Doing great.
That's awesome.
Glad to be here.
Yes, so first things first is we're going to talk about your wonderful free, and do you really mean free, Concerts in the Park Summer Series?
Absolutely. They're free admission, free, more or less free parking. Sometimes a little walk is involved. I wore my Junior Ranger hat because a lot of times at these concerts I do, although I just thought I'd make a little joke with it. We don't really have a ranger program of any kind, but I had to make a point. Anyway, somebody want a hat?
Well, just put it right there, Tom, and we'll leave it right there for the set.
Well, I wanted to mention our concert series. We do these free concerts every summer. We've become known for that. We've been doing them for what, 7, 8 years?
Exactly.
And we have some great bands. Greg Douglas Band was here recently. The Mardells, Wipeout, the classic surfing song from the 60s. They always come down from Orange County and do a concert for us. We do 2 concerts in Rancho del Oro Park at Mesa and College. We do another one at Mance Buchanan Park at College and the River, and that's roomy. I mean, lots of room for people, but that's where you have to walk because there's not that much parking. And we do one at South O Elementary School in the big athletic fields. Always great fun. We have food trucks, we have jumpy houses, we have things for the kids. It's just and it'll draw at least 1,000 people to each concert, so it's a big deal.
That's awesome. And Genevieve, I know that you also have been very instrumental with deciding the acts. I know it's a team effort, but I know you also are very instrumental in deciding who to choose from. And I have to ask a question. This band, is this Scottish band a new thing? I have to ask.
Well, years ago we had them, but they were not the starting band. The Highland Way Band, they're coming with their, tartans and the bagpipes, and they're all very handsome too.
Okay, I have to ask, what do they do covers like Stairway to Heaven, Metallica? I mean, what do they do?
No,
what do they do?
Scottish instrumentals and singing. It's really, you really have to come out to Mance Buchanan because they're really going to, not rock it, but Scottish it, I guess. I don't know.
So I really want to applaud the Friends. We were talking a little bit before we aired about how instrumental you all are in the community, active. I see this beautiful young woman, this Wonder Woman all over the place. And what you provide and what I see that you all try to do is try to provide things at prices people can afford, and also the collaborations that you do throughout the city. Can you speak about a little bit of some of the collaborations?
Well, we do do a lot of things. We're a high energy group, and we've always got something going on. We supported a local boys soccer group recently who wanted some money to go to a championship in Florida. They went, they won, and came back home. We support an annual fishing trip out of our harbor here for underprivileged kids.
Fantastic.
We support we have a very active scholarship program. We give a scholarship every year to a deserving high school student, which happens, of course, every spring. There are several other things. We collaborate with Main Street Oceanside. We collaborate with all the other organizations in town, the Chamber of Commerce and so on.
And with the scholarship program, can you speak a little bit more about that, Genevieve?
Yes,
Yeah.
we're very, very proud of this young lady, Jenny Nguyen. I can't pronounce her last. She's Vietnamese. A grade point average of 4.45.
Wow.
From El Camino High School.
Okay.
And very nice young lady, very pleasant young lady. I couldn't be happy of her if she were my daughter. So yeah, I'm really, really happy about that.
Well, good. So they can go, where can they go to find out more information about the Summer in the Park series?
Actually, we're listed on the Oceanside, City of Oceanside website.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So
Yeah,
City of Oceanside website, and they'll show the parks where the acts will be and all that.
The
our
whole
schedule.
year.
Okay, cool.
One of the things, I do all the hiring of the bands. Okay, so I make sure that by May I have the whole year already scheduled.
Oh.
And so, but you know what? Some of these people are very supportive of us, and they ask me, "Can I be on?" You know, and sometimes I can help them, sometimes I can't.
Well, you all do a wonderful job. We are so pleased to have you on the show. Thank you for coming through, and we will be right back with more Oceanside Spectrum.
Thank you.
After 15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
And we're back, and I am just jazzed about this next segment because one, we have my boss, Carly Starr, on, but she's also the creative director and the co-programming director of the Oceanside International Film Festival, and Sterling Ano, the co-programming director. So let's welcome them to the show. Hello, hello.
Thanks for having us, Kelly.
Yes.
Hello, Kelly.
So I know a little bit about OIFF. I had the pleasure to have one of my films that was in the festival a couple years back, and you all seem to do just an awesome job of connecting big cinema with local people, and you have made some changes. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of how that came about and some of the changes this year?
Well, OIFF has been around for almost a decade, and it's been a beautiful journey, actually. You know, I think being international was a big priority because it's awesome to have international cinema to a small town. And as Oceanside has grown, it seems best that we start bringing in a little down that way, a little Hollywood.
Hollywood, and you
so
all,
we go for a lot of local filmmakers, international filmmakers, and now it's been kind of an exciting thing because we've developing relationships right down into LA, so it's been nice.
So you also have like a theme this year, this local hometown heroes.
Yeah, it seems kind of a heavy topic around Oceanside lately, you know, with the parade and all that has you. But we have a lot of subjects where there are local legends that have come back after all their success, and they're coming back to the festival and going to hit the red carpet and premiere, you know, all their works. It's pretty exciting.
Well, let's talk about superstars, including you, because you have done so much with the festival. And Sterling, talk a little bit about the changes you and Carly have done. I know there's 13 new categories, or
yes, that is correct. In line with the tradition of film festival culture itself, the film festival is welcoming in 13 wonderful categories to help honor the extremely talented filmmakers that come through the halls every year. Some of these, of course, will include everything from, best directing, best editing, best hair and makeup, really honoring the professions that make these films a reality, as opposed to just what we are still including, the best categories themselves. So.
Yeah, and some changes now. People have been used to going to the festival. I've gone to the festival, and you sometimes have different venues. So this year it's different because everything's going to be at the Brooks
Yes.
Theater. Is that right?
The Sunshine Brooks Theater is our exclusive home for OIFF 2019.
That's
and we
awesome.
couldn't be happier.
Okay, all right.
What's awesome is the room next to it is the 219 room, and that's our VIP area.
Okay.
It's awesome because those categories are allowing us to have a pretty solid award show on August 11th. So it's pretty exciting.
And talk about premieres, I think, because Animal Kingdom shoots in Oceanside. And are you having a premiere or something like that?
Right. Last year we had a sold-out show for Animal Kingdom on TNT.
Okay.
They shoot here in Oceanside. They've been very loyal, like we have been. And they shoot in Burbank and a few other places. But we see them around town here, so it just seemed like a natural fit to reach out to Warner Brother. And Lou Niles, who is our managing director, developed that relationship. And we reached out to them, and they came last year and sold it out, and we presented awards, and it's pretty exciting because we have an encore for this year, and they're opening up the festival once again with a never-seen-before episode, and the cast comes, and it's pretty exciting.
Now, can I say this name? Is it too early to say Taylor Steele?
Yeah, I guess we can do that, yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, Taylor worked for Billabong. He's an international surf film festival guru. I mean, he's just a filmmaker that makes really rad films, and he's from around the area. And once again, Lou Niles set up the relationship, and he's going to have a big showcase that night on Saturday. And he's going to show clips and bring in some massive action sports friends and people who have been in his films, and it's going to be a pretty special night.
Well, thank you both for joining us on Oceanside Spectrum. She's just going to go back into her office and work because she works endlessly to create wonderful programs for our community and the Oceanside International Film Festival. Check out their website. It's going to be a stone cold groove, and we'll be right back.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly
Lights out.
and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
And welcome back. I'm Kelly O. Davis, and I have the San Diego Humane Society Oceanside campus, Aisha El-Humandi.
Al-Humadi.
El-Humadi, almost.
So close.
Yes, as a guest on the show with the lovely
Kalani.
Kalani. And obviously, with the Humane Society on the show, we have to first speak about the adoptions. And since this is going to be run at a time where you have, once a year, you have a...
So it's an event in August, on August 17th, called Clear the Shelters. And it's actually a national event. It happens all over the country, and we take part. And our goal is to do exactly that, to find homes for all the animals that we have available for adoption on that day. So our goal is to have an empty shelter.
Fantastic. And we know that Kalani, she is up for adoption. There she goes, getting all comfortable and over it already, as you can see. Like,
I'm done.
Yeah, right. Up for adoption. And how do your pets come to you? I've always been curious about this. Do people just find them on the street and bring them? Is it a different ways that that happens?
I mean, there's a lot of different ways that they come to us. Absolutely. People pick up stray animals, dogs, cats, and other animals that might have somehow gotten away from their homes by accident. So we do get them that way. We also are available for people that have fallen on hard times or facing a difficult decision, whatever it may be, and they have to give up their animal, which is always a very, very sad day for them. We also get them through our Humane Law Enforcement Department. So if an animal, there is some concern about the care of that animal, and they are asked to do a welfare check, and they feel that the animal needs to be brought in to be cared for, then they come in that way as well. So they come to us in many different ways.
And speaking of the care, I was really interested to find out that the Humane Society, yes, of course, adopting animals, turning the pets in, but there's a whole slew of things that you actually do in terms of education. And since now the summer is here.
Yes, it is.
So how do you care for your pets during the summer? What do you advise for those things?
Well, it does get hot here. I moved here last year from Vermont, so I'm dealing with a very different climate.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. So it is something that we have to be aware of. When we feel hot, they are hot as well. So it's important that we provide them with adequate shade and cool water when temperatures are high. Preferably keep them indoors if the temperatures are high. And just make sure that they're not sitting in direct sunlight. If you have to take them with you out then you want to make sure that you don't leave them in the car, even with the windows open, because it might be 80 degrees outside, but in a car, even with the windows open, it can go up to 120 quite quickly. So it's really important that we make sure that our pets at home are kept cool and healthy. And if an animal does start to show some signs of heat stroke or it appears to be getting too hot, then it's really important to take quick steps to help that animal.
And I understand some of the signs are, I think it was like purple tongue or
heavy panting, heart racing, lethargy. Very similar to what would happen to us if we got overheated. So, very similar symptoms. But it is also important that you might think that you want to rush and, for example, soak your dog in really, really cold water, but actually that can send them into shock. So you want to be very careful that, first of all, you do reach out and get help, but in the meantime, you can use warm water on a towel, for example, and pat them down. Give them a little bit of water at a time. Don't give them too much because they will drink too much because they're feeling so thirsty. And make sure to seek veterinary help.
And I also understand that something like do you exercise them still or not exercise them? What is the...
Well, it's important, of course, we always want to make sure that our dogs are getting adequate exercise, but we need to be smart about the time of day, making sure that we're walking our dogs when it's cooler outside, earlier in the morning, later in the evening, and then during the day, making sure that it's just, for example, potty breaks. And it's not just about the weather around us. What people don't realize also is the asphalt gets very, very hot.
Yes.
We're wearing shoes.
Yes.
However, they do not, although I have seen some do.
Yes, we haven't been out of LA recently. I can tell you some stories, but we are out of time. And Aisha, thank you so much. Kalani, thank you too. And we will be right back with more Oceanside Spectrum.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream, that I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly, just to come back in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
And now we're ready for On the Scene with Eileen. That's Eileen Turk taking us tango dancing by the beach.
Welcome to On the Scene with Eileen. We're in downtown Oceanside at the beach by Sea Gaze and the Strand. and tonight's topic is Tango on the Beach. And I'm here with the lovely Krista Ann.
Hi Eileen, thank you for having us.
Thanks for having me. I've been meaning to get down here. So Krista Ann, tell me, who can come to this?
Beginners are welcome. We start with just walking, so you don't have to have any dance skills whatsoever. You can just show up and I can get you into dancing from just walking. We meet at 7 o'clock on Saturdays. Every Saturday during the summer, we do an hour lesson and then we have a practica afterwards so you can practice what you learned during the lesson.
So beginners are welcome, and then are there any fees associated?
It's strictly on donation. We do recommend a $5 donation. It just goes towards water and cookies and dance floor music.
So how can folks reach you then? On Facebook or?
Facebook is best. Tango Skills, we do post every Saturday morning. You can also go to tangoskills.com and we have a calendar on our website as well.
This is where the action is on Saturday nights in Oceanside. Come on down, and it's great for socializing and exercise as well.
Yes, it is.
So we look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks for tuning in. Come to Tango by the beach.
Well, I think the rose in the mouth was a nice touch. Thank you, Eileen Turk. Always out in the community showing us the fun stuff you can do in and around North County.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
And welcome back, and we are here with Oceanside Police Department Ashley Sanchez, Crime Prevention Specialist. That's a fancy title. You must do a lot of stuff, Ashley.
A bit, just a little bit.
And
it's fancier than I actually am. So.
But we're specifically talking about your Coffee with the Cop program. And for all those that don't know, can you tell us a little bit about the program, what the goals of this program are?
Yeah, so Coffee with a Cop is a nationwide program. A lot of agencies take part in it. A lot of agencies do it once a year, but we're an agency that likes to do it every month so that we have opportunities for the community to come out 12 times a year. Mm-hmm. But it focuses on community-oriented policing, which engages the community and builds relationships between law enforcement outside of just the regular calls for service that we do.
Well, we were talking a little bit before, and I said that I've gone to some of your events, and one of the events I really, really enjoyed going to was Coffee with a Cop at Cynthia's Artistic Expressions.
That was one of my favorites as well.
I mean, it was a blast. We saw cops painting rocks and engaging with the community. I enjoyed it. What did the officers say about it? I don't know.
We really enjoyed the location. We had never done one outside of a regular bakery or coffee shop, so I wanted to branch out and have it at different small businesses, and Cynthia's reached out, and we were very happy to be there. And they had a wonderful studio there with tons of paintings. I know I spoke with her husband, and he does a lot of them himself, so it was great to see their work showcased there, and for my officers and community members who weren't aware of their location to come and see what they have available to them. And we're hoping, within the next few months, we'll do another Coffee with a Cop with them. So we're really excited for that.
Now, if people need to go, when the next Coffee with the Cop is, we're airing this in July, mm-hmm. So for the August Coffee with the Cop, how do they find out where that is?
Yeah, so I usually will post on our social media outlets, which will be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and then on Nextdoor. I'm not sure how many people in the audience use Nextdoor, but it's one of our outlets that we utilize for kind of an online neighborhood watch forum. But I'll also post on the city's website, so if you subscribe to any of our city's emails, you usually get a notice when I post in there as well.
Uh-huh. And I have your community-oriented policing.
Cops, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what does that mean?
Yeah, so it focuses, instead of focusing on problem-oriented policing where we see a problem and we try to take care of it, we try to get to a problem before it becomes a larger issue. So taking care of chronic issues, working with the community, sometimes before they become police issues, when they're just civil issues or city issues, we like to coordinate with the community, taking care of neighborhood disputes, taking care of, like I said, chronic issues, so they don't become larger, bigger enforcement issues. So that's what my neighborhood policing team really focuses on and gears a lot of their efforts to.
So I'm wondering if this is one of the things I went to. I'm on Nextdoor, and I do see Ashley Sanchez. By the way, it works.
I try to post.
And we went to, I think it was McAuliffe, I think it was an elementary school, and I met, and I don't know the officer's name.
Kristen McAuliffe, was it recently?
It wasn't recently, about a year ago. So was that part of your neighboring policing program? What is it?
So our neighborhood policing team consists of sector officers, and we have a gentleman that does like AB 109 and probation, and then we have a supervisor as well. So the city is split up into 4 sectors, and each sector is assigned a neighborhood policing officer. We have those resources on our website, so you can see who your neighborhood policing officer is for where you live or work in the city. And if you go on Nextdoor and you want to reach out to your sector officer, you'll be able to send them, a specific message. But you can, shoot them an email, give them a call. If you have concerns that you're not sure, if they're not emergency concerns, obviously we want you to be calling our emergency and non-emergency lines for things that are happening in the moment. But if you have questions about your neighborhood or chronic issues, or there's a problem house or you're having issues with your neighbors, anything like that, you want to be reaching out to your neighborhood officer. And they focus on those kind of chronic neighborhood issues and almost work on mediation between community members.
And if someone needs to know, hey, this is the first time I'm hearing this, they can contact your website, you directly. How do they find out about that?
Yeah, so if you go to our website, there's neighborhood policing. There's an option there. But they can also reach out to me. I can put them in touch with their neighborhood officer. If they're on Nextdoor, they can reach out to their neighborhood officer that way. We have a lot of modes of communication with them because we want you guys to reach out to your neighborhood officer, because if you're in contact with your neighborhood officer on a regular basis, chances are you're not going to be calling the non-emergency or emergency line because things have escalated. We try to empower the community to kind of take back their community and take ownership of their neighborhoods so that you solve those issues on your own before it becomes a police issue. Obviously, we want to be there to help you with police issues, but keeping it from escalating is our ideal goal.
Well, I want to thank you for your service. Thank you for Coffee with the Cop. And thank you for watching. That was our last guest on Oceanside Spectrum. Be sure to check us out next month with a whole new lineup of guests. Thanks for watching.
This program is brought to you by the City of Oceanside.